You already know what time it is. It's 3 punch combo. I got Continue the Boxing Truth. We got Low behind the, Cam What Up Though Low. And you already know what time it is. It's the Queen Micah K. You can also catch me on Afternoon Sports Slay. Make sure you hit that subscribe, that like, and that notification bell. And make sure you go on, Instagram too at 3 punch combo media and follow us. So let's get right to it, Cotillia. Listen, it was a lot, a lot of boxing this past weekend. Or lightweight division is very spicy right now. So we had Raymond Muratalla versus Andy Cruz. So I got a couple questions for you, but before I ask you, let's get to it. What was your thoughts? To me, I feel like the fight was pretty close. So how you feel about it?
I feel like the fight was close as well. I didn't think that the fight was too far apart. Like Muratalla having like 5 or 6 rounds on. But however, the judge judged the way they needed to judge. That's why it's 3 judges sitting around the ring to see 3 different angles. And I also know when you see a fight on TV versus seeing it in person, you can see 2 different things. Mm-hmm. So, however, whatever, I think Muratalla did pull it off. But from Andy Cruz, I would expect to see more a professional style from Andy Cruz. He did his style was a lot amateur to me. It was a lot amateur, meaning when he would get hit, when he would get hit, he would like get 3 hits back. Like I have to get a get back. So in amateur, everything goes on points. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's like he was trying to get points. So my thing was like, what is his real style? What was their strategy? Because I just saw the amateur style. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't see this is the game plan, because it's like he didn't have an answer for Muratalla being aggressive. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna just get my points. What was the strategy? If that makes sense.
That's a great point. Cause see, if you remember before, didn't we talked about trainers, didn't we?
We sure did.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? And I did bring up the fact, that in that fight, that training was going to be, very, very significant, and key. Okay. Because we know that Andy Cruz trainer was Bozy Ennis, and we know that Raymond Muratalla trainer was Robert Garcia. So who do you feel like, as far as what the trainers had, could you tell more so? Let's say this, we ain't even got to say who's better, but could you tell possibly who executed their game plan better?
Of course, Muratalla did. Let me just say that. That's what I'm saying. I want to know, like, what was the focus for Cruz? What was the game plan? But like I did tell you too, you can train for 6 or 8 months. That don't mean you're gonna sit there and go, do that in the ring. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if I feel like I have to defend myself, I'm gonna go back to what's comfortable, especially if I'm being pressured. And that's what it seemed like Cruz did. He went back to the amateur style. Again, I'm not sure what he worked on, what was worked on, but what I do know, when trainers get someone for the first time, they take them to deep waters. Meaning this, they're gonna test their ability, their agility. They're gonna test their weaknesses. Meaning this, they're gonna put them in the ring with some animals to see how far can he go. So all that's being tested, or should be tested, in camp. So when Muratalla was being aggressive, it's like Cruz didn't have an answer. He couldn't answer it back. And I did also say, hey, we was gonna see how he's gonna do in the ring, in the professional ring, only having 6 professional fights versus Muratalla having like 20-something professional fights. And it showed that night though. Muratalla did show up, he did show out. And I think Cruz still have it in him to go, to get to the next level.
I like Cruz more so, his fighting style when he was more in the amateurs. I feel like the way he fought in the amateur, especially like they still had a clips that, goes around when he fought against Keyshawn Davis. I just felt like the way he would come forward, pressure you, it just seemed a little bit different. The key point I wanted to make too, with Robert Garcia, what I saw, which I've been seeing from Robert Garcia and his training with his crew is too, he makes those minor necessary adjustments. I feel like he really understands his fighter. So throughout the fight, you can tell he kind of makes those, helps the fighter with making those minor adjustments to make sure that they can pull through and get the victory. And Andy Cruz side, I just felt like how you kind of piggybacking off what you were saying too, what was the true strategy and game plan. I did hear, Bozy say though too, you gotta bring more, you gotta you got to do more to make sure you can get the victory. So he was
But
telling
how you
them,
do that though?
right? But that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
How did he explain, or was that even to your point too in the camp? What was the actual strategy to make sure that you executed that on a fight night? And so, I did notice that, but I really liked how Robert Garcia, I like the pressure. I feel like the difference is too his pro experience, like how you talked about before the fight. Raymond's pro experience played a factor, and I feel like he edged the fight out in the last 2 rounds for sure. And then his body work and his consistent pressure, that's what really I think stood out to me. But I wanted to ask you, since you have experience in judging, how do you feel about or not even how you feel, what do you look for as a judge to see as far as is if a fight is close? What are some of the things that you look for to say, okay, this is the fighter possibly that I feel like is really taking the fight?
See, with me, I count punches very easy. Like before the numbers come out, I can tell you who threw more punches. That's because of my experience. So of course I'm going on who threw the most punches, who threw the most heavy hitting punches. Of course, that makes the fight. Then I'm looking at strategy. Then I'm looking at ring generalship. There's a lot of good things you look at, and it all depends on the fight, being a professional. Because when you judge amateur boxing and you judge professional boxing, it's really not two the same. That's why I'm saying Cruz fought more on the amateur style. Like he was doing get backs. He was doing, okay, let me get my points back. But you in the professional ring, the judge is looking at a whole plethora of different, all other things together, not just okay, he hit me one time, I'm gonna hit him 3 times, so I'm up. No, that's not like that. Like again, I didn't see strategy. I just saw him like defense on a defense. Like don't get me wrong, great fight, action packed from beginning to end. That's why I'm saying Cruz still have a chance to get back into the rankings and get back in there. It just I don't know. I didn't know the real strategy. I didn't know the real strategy. It's like he didn't have an answer for Muratalla. He didn't have an answer. So it was like he was in survivor mode. Like okay, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna survive. I'm a get past his punches and I'm gonna get the licks back. No, I didn't see real strategy. I know he have it. I know it's there, but style make fights. Again, you in a pro ring, style make fights.
So do you agree with Tim Bradley when he talked about, because I was watching him on his IG live, he talked about how Andy Cruz at times would have his back like to the ropes, and the judges, like depending on like the angle, he feel like one judge probably couldn't see Andy Cruz, maybe not even that Raymond was throwing more or applying more pressure, so that way that could have in some ways, I'm saying it in my own terms too, like maybe sway the judges, or that judge that's looking at it at that angle couldn't see it a certain way. So do you agree too, like it's about that might have had a lot to do with it, because some people were saying Cruz won that fight, because everybody's eyes different.
I had it real close. Now I wouldn't be surprised if he won. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a tie. Like I wouldn't have been surprised, but they said it was all three professional judges that judge these top fights. Again, you're sitting around a ring, three judges seeing three different things. Now, if you were well versed and like I grew up around the '80s, so I know all the tricks and the slick stuff, and all, you can't get that past me. That don't move me at all. That's the slicks. Protect yourself at all times. Don't wait on the referee to call stuff. In amateurs, referee call stuff because in the amateurs, it's protect the boxer. It's the safety of the boxer. When you went to a pro ring, it's protect yourself at all times. Don't wait on the referee to call. Don't. You have to. It's strategy. It's strategy here. So no, I don't. You got three different judges for a reason. I think the judges did a good job. I can't say one. I can't say that. I wasn't there in person, but on looking at it from home, on TV, it was either a tie or like it went towards Muratalla way. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I definitely had Raymond winning that fight. I just feel like due to his smart strategic pressure, especially I feel like those championship rounds really matter, and who's looking more the aggressor. And I feel like too that Andy Cruz still should have kept his foot on the gas a little bit more, definitely unload more. So I just liked overall what I saw from Raymond a little bit better. But not to say that Andy still did a good job
Yeah,
to
he did
me.
an excellent job.
Yeah,
Because some people can't fight back going backwards.
right.
Like
And I think
like he did a good job.
that's what Coach Ennis was saying too about Raymond Muratalla. I think he was telling Andy too, like, yeah, you know, Raymond can't fight all the way going backwards, so you need to, you know, come and pressure him and unload. If I'm not mistaken, that's one thing that the coach was saying in his corner.
But
too.
it was action all the way through.
It was
So
a
he
good
proved
fight.
that he can go the distance. He
Very
proved that he can
technical fight.
right.
Mhm.
You know, I just to me I think it was lacking strategy because I couldn't tell the strategy. Like what was the game plan? Like what was the answer to Muratalla? You know, so again, I don't know how that cap look. For the most part, trainers usually, you know, find the weaknesses and then, you know, do a strategy, do a game plan for their opponent. But he did good though. He did a good job. He only had 6 fights in the pro ring.
Right.
You know, this is definitely something good for him to take back and learn from and move forward. But it was a good fight altogether.
Yeah, it definitely was a
good
good.
fight.
It definitely was a good fight. So hopefully we'll see more. We gonna see Raymond called out. He said he want the winner of Shakur
Right.
versus Teo. So that's a good fight. Like I said, both of them, Raymond and Andy, you know, show they got a lot of tools in their toolbox. They can give out that work.
Yeah.
So we gonna see what's, you know, gonna happen in the future. You got any more thoughts on this one?
This is a nice weight class though. I'm just waiting to see who's gonna get. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna wait. No, I don't. I have nothing else. I mean, because I got a lot of thoughts going on, but I'm like, ooh, I want to see him. Yeah, I'm gonna see how it works when we see, you know, support. Yep.
Yeah, it's spicy. It's nice little spice. So the lightweight
Mhm.
division is definitely heating up. We gonna see really who gonna be the like top dog, you know, real soon. So you already know what time it is. It's 3 punch combo. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like and that notification bell.